Everybody. Today we are going to learn the history of everything. And today we are going to tell you the evolution of humanity from a single molecular structure. Alright, let's start. Alright, from the formation of the Earth and the solar system itself, and the star, of course, which are there, to the evolution of molecules and DNA to smaller DNA to the first virus and then cell, I think, and then finally other microorganisms, and then ocean beings and sea creatures all around in the ocean. The first life to ever live in the ocean. And then we reached land, where the first fish have come to live. The first fish to have ever breathed outside of the ocean itself. And then the dinosaur era came. Well, first started the Cambrian explosion, and then the Big Time, and then finally, the dinosaurs began. And then the rise and fall of the dinosaurs to the rise of man, and to the rise of us humans. The Stone Age, the Neolithic, the Bronze Age, and the Iron Age. And then we have the Middle Ages, which the knowledge itself started to expand more, and the Middle Ages started to get more technologically advanced than before. And then the discovery, the age of discovery, to the scientific revolution. And from the scientific revolution to the industrial revolution, to the atomic era, to the information age, and the emergent age. And then finally, the colonization of Mars. So, then let's start from the beginning, shall we? Sorry if I pressed that one. Okay, now, let us begin. New history from the beginning. From the cells of the globe, and back to where we began. Formation of our sun, to the planets, and to the solar system. And now, let's go back to where it all began. The tech tree of life. Welcome. And now, let us begin our journey from the past to the present, and then to the future. Alright, let's start. We first start with our home star, the sun, and then we reach the planet Earth, and then suddenly, a Mars-sized planet crashed into our planet, and that what's formed the moon, and then the primordial soup began, tons of volcanoes erupting on the Earth, and then the ozone layer formed, and then finally the amino acid, and then the enzymes. Oh yeah, also don't forget the nucleotides as well. And that's what took form of the first ever DNA. But before that, there were proteins and polypeptides. And that's what became the DNA. Then the RNA, which then has turned into a DNA replication process. And then there is the plasma membrane, which is a membrane of plasmas, of course. It's a membrane. And then the bacteria. But we have reached the first ever microorganisms in the history of the Earth. That is the prokaryotic cell. And then that's what forms the virus. Well, before the prokaryotic cell, there were the chromosomes, and then that's what formed the prokaryotic cells in the first place. And then bacterium, and then the virus. And then mitosis. To nucleus, to flagellum. The mitosis will one day evolve into asexual production, to sexual production, and so on. And it evolves into mitochondria and nucleus, and created the eukaryotic cell, the first ever true cell, and then the cytoplasm. And this cell has filter breathing and tissue, including chloroplast. And then we reached the first ever life form created by multiple cells. That is the sperm. Okay, sorry, I was doing this. It's kind of different. And then, after a few million years or something, they killed the fish. But before that, tissues need to evolve into muscles, into chloroplast, and then the nervous system, from muscles to soul. And we have our first jellyfish. And then the evolution continued, and another bony of multiple cells, that is the cytotypes and radial symmetry. And that's what came to the flatworm. Oh yeah, don't forget about this. You also need to know about the cocoons and vertebrates, and then bilateral symmetry. And of course, you have the nerve cord, and then that forms the heart, and then the first pigment spot. Also don't forget about the vertebrates and the bilateral symmetry, the heart, and the pigment spot, and the eye. And that's what formed the first ever fish. And then it evolves its fins, excretion opening, and then the first fish. And then it forms into lungs. And then the first lungfish ever. To breathe air outside of its ocean for the first time. The first ever lungfish. And then that fish evolved. And then that lungfish will crawl up to land. And that's what became the tetrapod. Also don't forget about the jaw and the ear. And that's what formed its ears. And eggs, and legs, and eggshell, including quadrupedalism. And then watertight epidermis. And then we reach into the Mesozoic, which you already guessed it contains dinosaurs. Also, I've only unlocked 3 dinosaurs, but if you want to see it, then you're welcome. Even though I can just, press it in the right corner, upper right corner. So let's go to the Mesozoic period. To the Mesozoic Valley, a valley filled with dinosaurs. It is a very different world, or should I say, a very different simulation than I experienced. We have the Archosaurus, the Ornithischia, and then we got the Stegosaurus. This is how you produce money, folks. But still, we need to take more steps than that. And look at that, our primary simulation looks cool. But still, unfortunately, we have to return to that primary simulation because it contains more of what it holds than anything else. So, let's move back to our primary simulation in 3, 2, 1. There. Welcome back to the primary simulation. So, I don't know what I'm doing. So, my battery is currently at 44% right now. So I might charge it soon while I'm playing this. Alright, let's go back. This is where we are. From the rise and fall of the dinosaurs to the rise of mammals. From the rise and fall of the dinosaurs to the rise of mammals. And that's where the evolution of the mammal brain begins. And the first mammal ever, it's a rabbit. The first mammal ever is a rabbit. Seriously? Anyway. And then it evolves into mammalian teeth. It has 3 bone ears, and then it evolves wombs, and it's warm-blooded. And then it has the neocortex, and then the first primate appears. And it has hair, sweaty glands, and milk glands. And when the brain of an ape was formed, the first ape appeared on the earth, which will one day evolve into humanity. But we will get to that soon. Now, let's move on. And now, we are going to bipedal walk. Well, and then it branched into 2 ways. Maybe. We have and then there's the apes. And then there will be bipedal walking. And then Australopithecus. And then an opposable thumb, Aries joints, and an endurance hunter. Then we got the Homo, and then we got the Homo habilis. And then we got the Homo habilis. And then the first idea appears. And we get extra brain. And then we got Homo erectus. And then Neanderthals. But we also don't forget about emotions, complex emotions. And then we have humans, which develop human brains and human powers. And also some pretty coding and bioengineering, but we'll get to that later. Or should I say, when we get into the future later on, which could be awesome. And then we got abstract thinking. And then they use stone tools. This is before the humans were there. And then the stone tools. Welcome to the dawn of civilization. Hunting weapons became more sophisticated. And then they started to fight bigger and bigger animals. And when food was scarce, they started fishing instead. And then that's what invented the fire. Cooking, speech, and burning. And with the humans, we got the Neolithic. The first ever civilization. I think. Well, I think the Neolithic is the first ever civilization. So, anyway, let's move on. So, before that, there are advanced stone tools. Then cave painting. And then dye. And then the first sculpture appeared. And then there are beads. And then poetry. And then music. And then music. And then film. And then farming. Religion, of course. And the burial. And also animal domestication. Including plow, horse domestication, chariot, fertilizer, selective breeding, and plow. No. And then the first ever city. And then we invented pottery for the first time. And then we are starting to mine ore. After domestication, there is plow, horse domestication, and chariots. And then with that, we have mining ore. And then from pottery, we invented a wheel, and then we invented a gear. And then we got the metallurgy. And then glass was invented. And then writing was invented. Welcome to the Bronze Age, where finally everything is started is starting to be more advanced than the civilizations before. Medicine started appearing, and then arithmetic and complex thinking, including including intelligence, started to develop rapidly. And then, of course, we found bronze, which is obvious because it's the Bronze Age, duh. And then we have nails, the first stage. Then we found iron, and then the number 0 was invented. And of course, we have the other. But this iron will finally lead into the Iron Age, where finally civilizations will continue, and I mean continue, to advance even more than anything that you could have ever imagined. And then the algebra was invented, which also invented gunpowder, which also invented iron tools, government, military, aqueduct. Also, don't forget that the glass. Don't forget about the paper as well. Also, alphabet, which also led to the Iron Age as well, including magnifying lens and telescopes to astronomy, and then glasses and then microscopes. But we will get into that later. And then the movable type, where typing first invented, I guess. And then the coinage, then the iron sword, and then aqueduct, and then firearms were invented. And also don't forget about sanitation as well. And then the Middle Ages began, where knowledge is far more advanced and smart than anything else. Or should I say, the technological civilization was continued to advance into greater heights. And then we have found the windmill, and then feudalism, also organized religion, and also don't forget about people. Also don't forget about universities. We also don't forget about glasses here as well, and including microscopes, which gunpowder also invented fireworks, the aqueduct, and then invented firearms, and then fireworks. And then finally the fireworks, also organized religion, included money, and then printing press. And that's where it began. The age of discovery, where everything that we know today is started being discovered, and the civilizations is more technologically advanced than ever before. The newspaper were invented, and then there's astrolabe, and then there's steel, banking, herbalism, sextant. Well, of course, it's telescope. Then the magnetic compass, and then the caravel, and then Galileo, and then which the fireworks turns into muskets, which the fire lance turn into cannons, which will one day evolve into guns. But let's focus on this for now. With the galleon, and then the field, and the compass, and sextants, and optics. And then the scientific revolution, where science is on a whole new level. And then calculus started appearing, turbine biology, pasteurization, and 3 laws of motion, laws of gravity, composition of light, and then optics, and then standardized time, and then locomotives, and then finally the steam engine. And this is where the cannon becomes the rifle and the machine gun. And then also the light bulb. And then finally, the Industrial Revolution, where technology has advanced so great that not even our ancestors cannot comprehend of what it can do. Technology have gone so advanced that not even our ancestors can comprehend of what it's truly capable of. Unlike offer the Stone Age, Bronze Age, and offer the Stone Age, Bronze Age, our further Stone Age, Bronze Age, and then the Iron Age, and the Middle Ages, and then the Age of Discovery and the Scientific Revolution ancestors, which cannot comprehend the scale of the Industrial Revolution, of course. And then we invented the zipper. We invented the zipper, loom, Morse code, radio, mechanical loom, factory, chemistry, photography, phonography, telephone. And then we got morphine, general anesthetics, molecular biology, silent film. It has gone so advanced, and including punch cards started appearing. And then don't forget about the combustion engine as well, including the combustion. Anyway, we're just going to move on. And then the silent film, and then the telephone, and then we have the atomic age, my friends. This is where our journey truly started to get wild. We have invented the television, transistors, modern science, robotics, integrated circuits. There's atomic bombs, nuclear, relativity, plastic, computer, and more technologically advanced things, including, don't forget about flight. Sorry. Don't forget about flight, liquid propellant, parachute recovery, and the V2 rocket. And also don't forget about the intercontinental ballistic missile. And then the information age happened. And then we got the cell phones, the computer terminal, the ARPANET, email, computer chips, video games, Apollo 11, map of Geno, home PC, internet, graphic user interface, and then CD-ROM, an engine, and a game engine, which is also my favorite thing. So, and finally, we have the first ever cloning. And then finally, don't forget about the search engine, folks, like Google. And then we finally reached the emergent age, where the ultimate technologically advanced of the modern world begins. This is where we currently are. Cryptocurrency, 3D printing, smartphones, and virtual reality and machine learning are simply a few. We are in this modern era or this modern era. Is it with the machine learning or with the machine learning? But minus the self-driving cars, nanotech, and biotech. And then we have machine learning, self-driving cars, AI, nanotech, self-assembly, mine upload, and biotech. And biotech and mine upload. And then we have the singularity, the ultimate technological point to which artificial intelligence becomes sentient. And then we got the singularity itself. I don't know what this is, but hopefully the developer of the Cell to Singularity game, or Cells, can unlock this with an update or something else in the near future. Hopefully. But let's go back to space, shall we? Oh yeah, also don't forget about drones and DNA storage. And now let's see. Last time we have the parachute recovery, V2 rocket, intercontinental ballistic missile. And then we got Sputnik, and then the space race, and then the moon mission. And then the space shuttle, and then the space station. And then the moon race. We are actually in this part of the modern world. This triangle. And then the first rover landed on Mars. The colonization of Mars begins. And then with the rover, there's the Olympus Mons, the magnetic research, isoposits, atmospheric research, planetary spaceflight, solar power, and cargo mission. And then this led to the first human expedition ever in the history of mankind. Or should I say humanity itself? We got deflection shields, cyanobacteria, Martian mining, and microgravity research. But there will still be more to come after we unlock this part of the series to humanity. So, and that's all for the tech tree of life. For now, at least. And look how far we have come from a single molecular structure to an entire technologically advanced civilization. Think about it. We evolved from a single molecular structure to an entire technologically advanced civilization with knowledge of almost everything in the universe. Well, almost, because we haven't known most things, but still. Look how big this tech tree of life is. It's really big. Anyway, that's the entire thing. The tech tree. Anyway, that's the entire explanation. That's the entire explanation of the tech tree of life. And that's all, folks. And that's all, folks. And this is why we should accept ourselves as the most technologically advanced and civilization on Earth, not in the universe or the solar system. Besides, we are still on the early stages, or the super early stages. And that's all, folks, for the history of humanity in the tech tree of life, cell to singularity version, or cells, if you want to call it by the app's name itself. And that's all, folks, for the history of humanity. From a single molecular structure to DNA, to cells, to even bigger cells and other microorganisms, to complex life forms that live in the ocean, swimming freely whenever they wanted. And then we have the rise and fall of the dinosaurs and the rise of mammals, including the rise of apes, and then finally, the rise of humans. And then finally, the dawn of civilization, from the Stone Age to the Neolithics to the Bronze Age, and then to the Iron Age on this stage of the map, as you can see, created a model, of course. And then the Middle Ages began, to the Age of Discovery, and then finally the Scientific Revolution, to the Industrial Revolution, the Atomic Age, the Information Age, and then the Emergent Age, where our modern world sits. Until then, we will begin our colonization on Mars, and it is one of the greatest challenges humanity currently and will ever face. I meant currently, okay? It will not be too challenging in the future anyways, so